Ever wanted to use short rows in your knitting, or maybe you've heard the term short rows and you're wondering what are short rows? Well, this is the video for you. We're going to take a look at what short rows are and then some examples of accessory patterns where you can either learn how to do them or perhaps just refresh yourself if you haven't used short rows in a while. So short rows at their most basic are somewhere in your knitting where you don't finish to the end of the row, you turn around and you start working the other direction. Now that sounds very simple, and it is. The only time that it gets a bit more complicated and where the different techniques for short rows come into play here is how you join or bridge that gap where you turn. Because if you just turn your work and go back in the other direction, what you're going to have is a hole in your work. So then you're going to start introducing different techniques that will close that hole. So you've got ones which will do a wrap around, which would include wrap and turn or Japanese short rows. And then you've got other techniques like German short rows where you pull up the row below and basically get rid of the gap by pulling the jog between the two rows up together. So that's a very brief overview just to basically explain they're not scary and they're very approachable, and it's a very easy way of adding some shaping into your knitting without ever changing the stitch counts. So let's take a look at a couple of examples of patterns that I've used them in. So the first one here is a set. It's a hat, the bassinet hat, and the bassinet mitts. So on the hat, it's completely worked from side to side, starting with provisional cast on, and the top of it is shaped using a short row wedge, which is just a little triangle of short rows. So it goes down to almost nothing at the top and then it's wider at the bottom. When you repeat that all the way around, you create a three-dimensional shape forming the whole top of the cap. Here for the mitt in the set, you've got the mitts worked from side to side, again starting provisional cast on, and you can probably see here the thumb comes out like this, and that's all done with short rows. So if I open it up, it's just created using a triangle with more rows in the top, less in the bottom, so you've got enough room to fit your thumb through using just the short rows. So that's the first set of patterns, and then the next one is another place that I like to use short rows, which is across the heel of a sock. So this particular one, it's worked from the top up. There's a little gusset by adding increases here, and then the heel is worked using short rows to create a wedge going into the narrowest point and then back out again using yarn overs. So all of that turn going from horizontal to vertical is done using short rows. So I think the three of those give you a really good range of different ways you can use short rows and the kind of shapes you can use to create them. But if you want to move into something that is a little larger and you want to really dig your teeth into short rows, then the next video we're going to take a look at how you can use short rows in your garments. So if you would like to learn all about that, make sure you follow us and follow on for the next video.